it's cool that, when other people say, like, have him on. So maybe they know something more than we know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's funny that Otto said that. I've known him for, I don't know, 8 years.
Right.
10 years. I don't know. The first motorcycle helmet I bought was a Biltwell, and it was at their old location off Jefferson. Mm-hmm. I bought it from, like, Bill, one of the owners.
Yeah, the owner.
And I forget the girl that worked there at the time, but yeah. No, Otto's a fucking character.
Dude. Seriously, so the backstory, him and I knew Otto before he was Otto. He was just Mike D to me.
Yeah.
We've known each other a long time. Like before, I mean, he's always been, per se, I guess, in the industry, but he didn't work for Biltwell. He just, Mike has always done 1,000 things. He was a contractor. He was always a hustler, but him, our story, we got high together. You know what I mean? We drank and used drugs together. You know what I mean? And he was fucking wild, dude.
That's hilarious because I know you guys have knowing each other through sobriety, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first met you, you mentioned that, and I'm like, and you knew Anthony.
Yeah.
He was a sober guy, so
yeah,
that's funny that you know him prior to that.
Prior, yeah. So it's like, and there's only a few people in my recovery aspect besides like some of my close friends, but never really anybody that I got loaded with, you know what I mean, and had to turn the corner. I remember when he was getting sober and I was still fucking off, and Mike was always he's always the type of guy that would reach out, and not really like boast or brag about what he was doing or what his life is like now, but like just kind of remind me that there's a better way. Because, dude, people like Mike, and even myself, but even with Mike, people like that don't really make it, bro. Like they just die. It's just an intense life, That's cool. So anyways, where are you from, bro?
I'm from this area. I grew up in like Wildemar, Elsinore area, kind of bounced around, but mainly Elsinore. But once I was an adult, I kind of moved to Marietta, Temecula, Fallbrook, just kind of bounced around in this area.
Yeah, this whole area right here. Mm-hmm. Well, that's like Dweezy. That's where he's from, Wildemar.
Yeah, man, I grew up off, not Baxter. The one after it, I forget.
The back roads, dude. Yeah. I don't know, man. I love this area. I love it. I was talking on Dweezy's like show too, man. Like there's like a certain. I say this to Mike D all the time too. There's a certain smell, and it's the sage. Like it's very unique.
Yeah, I like living out here, man. I had so many homies move like up north, moved to Arizona, moved to the East Coast. I don't know. I don't mind it here. I hate homeless people, and there's like minimal here.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I go down to San Diego, if I go to like, a Padres game, it's disgusting down there.
Bro, it's so trash.
With my kids, I have a 7-year-old and like a 20-month-old. You take the wrong street down there.
Yeah.
I just get fired up. I do not like homeless people. I'm like, I shouldn't have to be dealing with this.
Yeah. Dude, it's so bad. Dude, especially
it's a bummer.
Dude, especially like in the last 4 years. It's been really bad. I mean, honestly, ever since COVID, really.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that, dude. Everybody, that's the timeline. COVID.
Yeah.
So you said you have a 7-year-old and a 20-month-old.
Yeah, 2 girls.
Really?
Yeah.
How come there's a gap?
Because raising kids is gnarly. I don't know. So the original.
You are not lying, sir.
No, for sure. Yeah, there is definitely an age gap. We weren't trying to do that. We told me and my wife, we're like, yeah, let's have them 2 years apart. Everyone seems to do that. That seems to be dialed.
Right.
But when we got to that mark, we're like, fuck. I don't know if I could do another one. Like, we just weren't ready at that particular time. Like, life's always been decent for us, but we're like, I don't know if we're ready for this.
Right.
And then eventually we were like, she put it to me. She's like, it's either now or never. And we're like, all right.
Let's
get after this. So, yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm cool. Sure.
Yeah.
You want me to do it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm your guy. I can do this.
Yeah, I can do that's easy as fuck.
Yeah, so I don't know. The second one's awesome. Yeah. I was hoping to have a boy, but having another girl, I'm like, I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
And how old is your wife?
She's 30.
Okay. Well, I mean, you could still try for another.
No, dude. I ain't trying to have 3, man. I had a vasectomy scheduled, but it ended up not going through. Like, they rescheduled it on me.
Hey, bro, God or odd. You know what I mean? It's time to have another baby.
I don't know. I'm a believer you got 2 hands, and, like, you can have one. I don't know. If you have 3, one could take off on you, or you could be in a shitty situation where you got to grab them. I don't know. If I have 2.
You have a 7-year-old, though. She can run.
Yeah, she can. She's athletic. She could do it.
Run. That's fine. No, 2 kids at school. That is a gap for sure, you know.
Yeah.
But fuck it.
Yeah, she helps out.
Yeah. And you have a babysitter, dude. Actually,
not so much,
soon.
But yeah, it could happen.
Give it a couple more years, you know.
We'll see how it is. There's no rule book to this shit. We're just winging it.
No.
It happened that way.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, being a parent is a fucking motherfucker.
You have kids too, right?
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I have 3.
Right.
Technically, I have 2 right now. I have 3, but I've given my daughter up in my addiction. So I have a 19-year-old that I haven't seen since she was like 6.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? So I was not a parent. I can't say that I was. Like, her mom did a fantastic job of keeping me fucking away, you know. But that's a part of my story, you know. Addiction just ruled my fucking life, you know.
Dang.
But yeah, it sucks because now I surround myself with good men, you know, and like I get to watch them like raise kids, you know, and do the things that, you know, I didn't know too. You know, my childhood was pretty shitty. You know, I was abused and, you know, just not a good life, you know. And now seeing like my friends that are like cool, great fathers, you know, like I look up to them, and some of them are younger than I do. I mean, I'm a little bit older than some of my friends, you know, but yeah, it's just an amazing thing to see watch good fathers, you know. But yeah, I have 2 kids, technically 3, but I have 2 with my wife now, and we're gonna have a 3rd, so we're gonna be juggling.
Dang.
Honestly, like, you know, I didn't want to. You know what I mean? I saw Dweezy's head perk up. Like, I didn't want to, because after this last thing, bro, she went through like postpartum like crazy bad. And it started from the jump. You know, it started like right when she got pregnant, like it was like different. And we knew right away because my wife cannot wait. So she did like the test like immediately, you know, to find out what it's going to be. And people did warn her and was like, you know, having a boy and a girl, like there's different hormones, blah, blah, blah. So it really kicked her fucking ass. And it was just a bad pregnancy. And it was even worse after the baby was born. You know, like it wasn't like suicide. Well, there was a few times where she wanted to so she's in recovery too. She wanted to get loaded a few times, like she talked about it. And then she also said there's plenty of times where she thought of like driving herself off the fucking road.
Oh, man.
So like chicks with hormones, man, is like wild, right? And so I was like tapped out. I'm like, dude, we're done. Like I kept on saying it. I'm going to vasectomy. And she was like, no, wait. And kind of back up a little bit, like knowing she grew up in a big family. So I knew going into the relationship that I was going to have kids again. Didn't know how many, but she has always wanted to have a big family because she's accustomed. She's used to that shit, you know, the chaos.
Yeah.
So.
Does she have any kids with anyone else?
No.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, kids are fucking great though. Like my son now is 2, and he's like ripping on a Strider, dude. Like,
oh, nice. Like
this kid is, you know, like the motorcycle stuff and like 2-wheel stuff. It's like almost like embedded in his DNA now. It's crazy. Like he sees a motorcycle or hears one, and his head is like, you know what I mean? Like he's so fascinated. And I remember being a kid like that too, like really fascinated by Harleys at a young age, and like, you know, like the loud noise, and it wasn't like scared, because I've seen some kids like they'll hold their ears and get scared, you know, and he's not like that, dude. He's 2 years old, dude, and rips down the hill on a Strider, and like he's crashed a few times, and like, you know, he gets up and he cries a little bit, but he gets right back on the bike. Like he's not scared. And I'm like, dude, he ain't like me, because I was a scaredy kid, dude. You know what I mean? Like I'd be very cautious.
Yeah, I feel like I was more calculated probably. I did some dumb shit as a kid, but yeah, I wasn't too reckless.
Uh-huh.
I broken some bones, but nothing too gnarly.
Yeah, just like normal stuff.
Yeah, I broke my collarbone, but
oh, that's the worst, bro.
Yeah, I did that playing football though. That was for some other BS, but I remember setting up jumps and like just doing dumb shit as a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get the nickname Whiskers?
Oh man, so I started working here. Like I've been here for like 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
I worked over in service, and I had a mustache at the time. And our work shirts were like traditional shop shirts that had our name stitched into them.
Right.
And the service manager Mark, that's still here. He's like, "We got to call you something else." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I could care less. Like at that time in my life, I'm like, "Okay, whatever." He's like, "How do you feel about Whiskers?" And I'm like, "If that's what you guys want to call me." Like,
What a nice guy though to ask you.
yeah, he wasn't a prick about
You know
it by
what I mean?
any
Like-
means. Yeah, he was just like, "How do you feel about that?" I'm like, whatever." Like, I clock in. Like, if people refer to me to that as like, no big deal. Like,
Right.
but yeah, 10 years later.
So you've been here for 10. You've been here at Old Town Temecula Harley for 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of change.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Quades hired me, and then I worked for them for maybe a year and a half, and then they sold to a new guy, and then I switched positions at that time, which that was a cool change. You know, did parts, sold that over the counter. I was originally over in service, helping out over there. And I came over and started selling parts, and then the new ownership, Old Town Temecula Harley. Yeah, I switched into a different position not that long ago. So yeah, things have been good.
Yeah. You like doing what you're doing now,
Yeah,
which is,
I'm the motor clothes manager now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So everything goes through you, anything merchandise.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I decide what helmets, we should bring in, what jackets, flannels, for the most part. A lot of the stuff that's currently in there, like I've chosen, but a lot of it's from the past person that did it. So, because you got to order stuff, so far ahead of time. So a lot of the stuff that the previous person, they came in, so.
Are you able to like kind of create your own thing too if you wanted to?
Yeah, no, they haven't really set any
Like,
restrictions on me.
brand wise, like, oh, I want to bring this brand here to try it out.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, like we used to have Loser Machine, and then we stopped carrying them for a while. I can't remember why. I wasn't in charge of it at the time. So when I came over here, I wanted to bring that stuff back because, I don't know, I liked wearing it. Other people seem to enjoy it. So
Great brand.
yeah, and then we brought Dixon was already here, but we did a fresh order of that stuff because that all sold out. So I don't know, people are into that. I was never a big Dixon guy, but I bought a few shirts and it's good stuff. So people are into it. So
Yeah, people fucking love that shit.
yeah, I didn't know that people collected this stuff. Like someone was like,
It's crazy.
yeah, and they buy like 3 of them at a time to sell 2, and I'm like, people are buying flannels off of people and trading them, and I'm like, that's wild to me.
I saw
It's cool, but it's different. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, oh,
Yeah, there's like a
interesting.
website to where it's like vintage Dixon stuff, to where like flannels that, because a lot of the things, well, I think majority of his drops you can't really buy again.
Yeah,
Like he does it one time and like, this is how many I have, which is fantastic because it builds out hype. But anyways, there's a website or even maybe an Instagram where it was like, buy Metallica's first edition, it's like almost like eBay, you know what I mean? But it's like, I saw $1,000 for a fucking flannel, dude. Like, that's fucking wild, dude. Good for you.
yeah, that's too much.
You can't, listen, I know that there's people that, say whatever they want about Danny Dixon, but the fact of the matter is he built a fucking pretty badass business, you know what I mean? From whatever, there's so many different stories, but his business structure is pretty fucking badass. I mean, the flannels are nice too, compared to like what they used to be. You know what I mean? Like the old, lumberjack fucking.
Dude, I remember that. That was the first time I heard of him. Do you know who Dwayne Ballard it is? He builds like choppers. He's been like an invited builder to Born Free. He's like out in Elsinore. He does like leather work, real good, like tooled leather, like kind of like. Yeah, he's really good at it. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I saw that they hooked him up with some, this was like 10 plus years ago, and they were like some goofy yellow color, goofy red, just bright, like lumberjack looking stuff. And it's crazy what they've changed into now.
Yeah, right. The colorways are badass.
Yeah, the thing that I thought was cool is those like little eyeglass wipers in the back of the shirt. I'm like, that's
Pretty smart.
yeah. I was like,
can't
those
knock it.
fuckers got it.
Yeah,
Dude. They know what they're doing over
They
there.
can't knock it. I mean, you see so many brands like go out there. I mean, myself too. You know what I mean? I had a flannel and I thought it was it, and it wasn't. That motherfucker washed and it shrunk right up a little bit, and I'm like, God damn it, man! They have a good thing because flannels, especially if you're riding motorcycles, you don't want anything flying up on your your arm, you know, you want it tight to the collar and all that. So, yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
So what made you, like, how long have you been in the motorcycle industry? I mean, besides working here, like, when was your first taste of anything two wheels?
Oh, two wheels. So like I grew up skating, so I was always pushing around and, you know, doing stuff like that. I didn't get too good at it, but you know, classic kid stuff, you know, hucking myself downstairs. And then eventually I got into bikes. BMX was a big part of my life for a while. Riding like fixed gears happened when I wanted to ride further. And then I got tired of riding so far and being so tired because I used to ride like a fixed gear, like say from like Temecula to Oceanside and back, like put like
Jesus.
Yeah, I just had the day off, so I'm like, I'm gonna go ride.
What?
Yeah, I'd put 30 miles on, you know, 40 miles some days.
Wow.
So I was into that. I was really in good shape. Like that was fun and all. But after a while, I was like, dude, I'm getting too tired for this. Like, I'm not trying to do this all the time. And I'm like, I should buy like a motorcycle. That'd be way easier. Like I could go rip somewhere far.
Where would you ride for 30 miles at around here?
Like I used to dip up. I lived in Temecula. I would shoot up to like Menifee area and go like Domagoni. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then loop back to Winchester and cruise back. I'd go through like over by like Skinner and stuff out there.
Damn.
Just all kind of weird ways to rip out. But yeah, I used to do that all the time.
Like a road bike?
Yeah, but it only had one gear because
Damn.
that was like the cool thing to do. And
There's nothing cool about that. That's tiring as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm tired just thinking about it, dude.
They were cheap.
That's far as hell, dude.
Yeah, cheap. There's no technology to them, easy to work on. But yeah, at that particular time, it was like, man, maybe I should invest and like get like a dialed ass 10-speed and start ripping that. I'm like, I could probably really go far.
Right.
But after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start putting money away for a bike. And through BMX, BMX was a big part of it too, because I had a couple friends that were really good at BMX, and they were sponsored by this company, Snafu, which the current owners of Biltwell, or they've always owned it, but two dudes, Bill and Magoo, they used to own and run Snafu. So I saw one of the owners come into my buddy's BMX shop a while back, or this was 15 years ago. And just some super cool dude, super over the top, just wild things coming out of his mouth left and right. Just really left an impression on everyone when he was there. But he was doing both of them for a little while, but he started Biltwell. So that's when I started to see like all their early helmets and parts that they were doing. Because like a lot of the dudes that rode for his BMX company would sometimes like rip their old like non-DOT helmets for like photo shoots. So I started seeing it's cool like images of that, and I'm like, dang, choppers are cool. Like I have no mechanical background at all, but I just started seeing that. I'm like, if I were to get a bike, it'd be something like that. Or at least, I don't know if I could afford it. I didn't know shit about them at the time, so I was just like, that would be dialed. But
it looks great. I want it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, I'd be the coolest motherfucker if I had one of those. But that's kind of how I got into it. I just started saving. I was working 2 jobs at the time and just started putting money away. And I ended up buying my first bike, which I still have. It's a 2000 1200 custom Sportster. So, yeah, I still have that.
Is it chopped out?
It is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had it for, like I said, like, I don't know, 10 years, I think now.
Right.
Yeah, it's had a bunch of different styles. Like, I've had tall shocks on it, dual disc, 2-in-1. I've upgraded the motor. Like I had the cylinders bored out. I had Andrews cams in it. Different transmission from a different year because I had some transmission issues. It's been all gone through.
Right.
But I would say it's still reliable, but it's funny all the things that I've replaced and like upgraded for, I think my motor work stemmed from like a leaking base gasket, and it just kind of got pulled apart, and it was like, you should really think about this.
Yeah.
You should do this.
Totally.
And someone's like, I could, bore this for you.
You scratch the surface on bikes, and next thing you know, you're fucking spending a lot of money.
Lifters here, and it's like, what kind of lifters? And
honestly, too, it's like you start doing that, and it just costs more money because I've now know from experience, like a built motor, like they just kind of break, dude. You know what I mean? Like shit just happens. Gaskets just fucking fall apart,
Yeah.
Fucking too much torque, brother.
Yeah, it's gone through, dude. When I bought that bike, it had bagger apes on it.
Sick.
I had no idea. Like it had saddlebags, had a windshield. Like I just knew I could afford it. I bought it for $3,500 from a dude. He's like a Black Sheep member that used to live around this area.
Nice.
And I think I worked with his daughter, and somehow I found out he was selling it. And I'm so happy I bought that model because it's like carbureted. Now, knowing what I know now, it's like that's like a good year. It had, sealed wheel bearings,
Right.
like updated calipers, all the new 2000 and newer stuff. So I'm stoked I got that. Like a 90s model would have been cool. I'm not a big rubber mount ones. Those started in like 04. I'm not. Those kind of lost some things that I dug on the earlier ones, but I didn't know that shit at the time, so I feel like I got pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Haven't sold it yet, so
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that you held on to it.
yeah, I feel like if I haven't sold it now, like it's not worth much.
Yeah.
I dumped a bunch of money into it because it's now a chopper, so it's got a full rigid kit, long front end, and super skinny triple trees, and just like a lot of nice parts where I'm like, I'm never gonna get my money out of this.
Yeah.
But I don't plan on selling it.
Yeah, don't. It's like, sentimental value now, too.
Yeah.
First bike, still have it.
Yeah, I've crashed it a few times.
Fuck yeah, dude.
All by myself. I've never been involved with any other people, but it's like leaving the bar and I'm like, yeah, let's do a fucking burnout.
Really?
Like spin it around. Like I've seen my bike skid across like on the derby cover. Just and I'm like, oh. Go pick it up, like adrenaline. I'm like, let's roll.
Right.
Like, definitely had some wild times on that bike. Dropped it. It happens.
Yeah, bars and bikes, you're playing. It's risky behavior, my friend.
Yeah, motorcycles and bars, like,
Yeah.
dude, those two all came into my life.
Yeah.
It was like biker stuff. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, mine was bikes and meth, dude. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Dude, that's heavy.
I don't know how many times I've dropped my fucking bike completely smack bag.
Dang.
Like stupid shit though, like kind of what you're saying, like no major, fatalities or crashes, like to where, but it was just like dumb, just fucking, I couldn't hold on to the bike anymore, dude.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, it sucks. Man, I had a Road Glide too for 5 years, and I laid that one down a couple times. And
Were you just going too fast, or what was up with that?
the main time that I laid it down, it was solo again. I was coming up from San Diego at probably like 2 a.m. Me and a bunch of homies were down there, and we were all riding up. And I got off the freeway. I was living in Murrieta at the time, and got off, and I don't know. All of a sudden, my tires like went out from under me. Like, I don't know if I hit something. It was late at night. And, I had been drinking, but I made it all the way from San Diego. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I hit something on the ground, and my bike.
How fast were you going?
I was getting off the freeway, so maybe 30.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the bike slid out from me. I tumbled. I had minimal stuff on, but I was fine. But I was like, holy shit! Like my big ass Road Glide just got
swept,
dude. Yeah, everything cosmetic got smoked on it. So yeah.
There's nothing scarier than that moment, and like you don't ever forget the sounds. At least I don't. The sounds of the bike crashing. It's like fucking horrible.
Yeah, I had some spare spark plugs in one of my glove compartments. I get up off the ground and I'm like, holy shit! Like, go over, look at everything. I was like, yikes! There wasn't anyone in the street at all, so I didn't feel like any like massive pressure. But I like looked and I saw like some random spark plugs on the ground. I like looked at my bike and I'm like, this fucking blow out of my heads. Yeah. They didn't, but I was like I said, I had a few drinks, so I was like trying to put everything together. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
I looked at it, I'm like, no, they're still in there. I'm like, okay, cool. Picked it up, made it to my house, which was a few miles down the road, and had a nice insurance claim on it, and got everything, got it all fixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it all worked out for that time.
How many bikes have you had?
Just the 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never sold the Sporty, but a while back, it was a 2016. It was a Road Glide Standard, so it didn't have ABS. It didn't have like a touch screen on it. It had like a regular radio, but I bought that. It was a 16. I think I bought it in 17. Like the Milwaukee 8s had just came out, but the 16 was like the last twin cam model, and it was like a rental bike. I think we were doing rentals at the time, so it had like 4,000 miles on it. Had like still a good amount of warranty and stuff. So yeah, I bought it and had it for 5 years, and then I sold it to Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember he was ripping on that thing, man.
Yeah, that bike got a bunch of motor work done to it, too.
It's funny how many bikes our friend Anthony has had.
Oh, he's a fucker.
He seems like he gets a new bike once a month, and they're always fucking really legit.
Yeah. Now, do you know his buddy Stefan, too?
Stefan, yeah.
Yeah, I've known that dude. I've known both those guys for maybe, I don't know, 3 years, probably. I've known of them. Yeah, they're super nice.
I haven't seen Stefan in a long time.
Oh, he's a dad, dude. Just being dad to the bone.
Yeah, I think that's really rad. I've seen him on Instagram, and full on family man. But those guys had matching bikes besides the color and paint job, with the clear windshield when I first met him. But they fucking rip. Anthony rips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Anthony like go up on the side of the fucking hill and shit. Like there's like a little berm on this fucking road that we like to take, and he just like fucking whipped it up in there. I'm like, this fucking dude is crazy.
Yeah, I've buzzed around him on with him like in town. One time we rode up to Big Bear, and I knew that he was quick. I was on my bagger. He was on like I think like an 01 like Super Glide, one of his older white Dynas, I think. And yeah, halfway up the hill, it's like he was just gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I ain't trying to push my big bike too hard.
Right.
But
yeah, he was doing some sick ass rolling burnouts on that fucking bike that you sold him. Yeah. That fucking bagger was pretty legit.
Yeah. No, I bought a extended service plan with it too. So like once my like factory warranty crapped out on me, I think it was coming up, and I don't know. I noticed something with the bike. We took it apart, and my flywheel was like shit. It was just out of true, and I don't know if my cylinders were scored or what the hell was going on at the time. But yeah, we had our service department like take it apart, and like I ended up putting a dark horse crank in it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let her fucking eat, bro.
Yeah, new cams. Like I kept it a 103 because like I don't know 110s at the time. Like I just didn't want one. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Sometimes they've had issues at times. So I was like, 103s have always been super dialed. So it was like a high compression 103 with, it was like 585 cams. But
that's what I have too on my bike.
It was dialed.
Yeah. Things fucking, dude, my bike just rips, dude.
Man.
I swear, dude, like I feel like I can have a 7th gear. So that bike that you have, the Sporty, that's chopped out, that's the only bike that you have that you always ride here?
Yeah.
The white one.
It's like, like white and purple.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not running right now. Like
that's a beautiful bike, though.
I like it. But yeah, that's my only bike. I kind of want to get another one eventually. Like I just bought a car like a while back, so I've been driving that around. But yeah, I definitely want like a more dialed bike. I like early 2000 Dynas. But I don't know if I want something older where I'm going to have more issues with it. Some of the new Softail models are cool. Like I wouldn't mind having a Softail.
Yeah, I just want a new bike. That's what I want.
Yeah, I just want something dialed.
I mean, honestly, man, like, like we were saying, like you start working on bikes and things just go wrong. I swear, dude, this fucking 06 Dyna, it's only the frame now. Everything else has been done. I mean, literally everything else has been done on the bike. But I mean, it's funny. I say 06 and everybody's like, bro.
Yeah, it's that first year 6-speed.
Is fucking busted.
Yeah, there's a couple friends that I hadn't have that model, and they've changed out everything.
Everything. I mean, on my bike, I mean, everything from, mags to suspension, front end. Now I have dark horse crank, new tranny, new primary, 103 motor cammed, like it's dialed. But still, I just want something new. Like where that's what I'm saying. I spent so much fucking money on this bike now.
Yeah.
To where you're never going to get that money back, either, So I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. But anyways, I really like the new Road Glides. I like them. I think they're fucking sick as fuck. There's somebody I just watched doing a video on them the other day, and he was getting so low into the corners too. It was just fucking fantastic. What do you think of the Pan Ams? Have you ever rode one?
I have not rode one.
I want to ride one.
Yeah.
They seem like they're fun. My boy
they
Taylor
gotta be
just
fun.
got one.
Apparently they're quick as fuck.
Fast as fuck.
Yeah. Dude, there's actually one in our service department right now that's a police bike model. Mm-hmm. That I think a dealership up in LA built it for him, but it's super unique looking. But dude, I've seen them hauling ass. Yeah. I've just never personally ridden one, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna work out a deal. It's more to come with it, but I want to kind of surround myself with the Pan Ams with a couple people, and like I don't know, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I can't wait to ride one. Like my friend Joey, we did a ride to Yosemite, and fucking dude, he already knows how to ride, but this on him on this bike going through the mountains and being in front, watching him ride, dude, the thing was fucking moving, dude.
Yeah.
Moving, and it was just fat, dude. It just sounds good. It's super light. Taylor, my buddy Taylor, he rode one. The dealership, National City Harley loaned him one, and he rode it all the way out to Four Corners, and he did some off-roading and shit on it, you know what I mean? Like took it off the street.
Yeah.
But there's so many different modes that you can have on the bike. So yeah, definitely. I think the new bikes, it's funny, like with Harleys, like when, you know, they got rid of the Dyna and everybody was like so up and crazy about
fired
it.
up.
You know, fired up about it. But the Softails are a pretty fucking nice machine.
Yeah. I've never had like a, you know, I went from sporty to bagger. Like at the time, all my friends.
That's a pretty actually big jump.
Well, I wanted a car at the time, but you know, like I wasn't making terribly good money. So I was like, I could either get a car or I could just buy a nice ass bike.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get a bike.
I'm going to bike.
Yeah. So,
Get in a fucking bike.
Yeah.
Wife. What
Pretty
did the wife
much.
say? Yeah, go ahead.
She co-signed for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What a
She was,
beautiful soul.
yeah. She was into it.
Yeah.
Cause she, you know, we had a, you know, family car together, but I was just wanting something for me. But yeah, a bunch of my friends had Dynas, and I'm like, I'm not gonna want this. Like, might as well. I planned on keeping it for a while. I had it for 5 years, but yeah, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna jump to it and get a bagger because performance baggers are like, you know, cool guy. Like I'd seen a few around here that had like tall T-bars on it, like maybe a few, like one or two, and that was before it got real big. And I was like, I'm gonna build something like that. So
Yeah, these performance baggers are fucking nuts.
yeah.
People spend thousands and thousands of dollars, dude, on a bike, but it's more than just a paint job, you know, too now. You know, when you're looking at bolts and ARP, all these things,
fucking
like
swing arms, the
just-
shit that people do is like nutty. I never had that kind of money, so just seeing it, I'm like, what?
yeah. So I know somebody in San Diego that spent roughly like $140,000 on his bike, and that he built the motors fucking just so well and top notch that he literally bent his swing arm. And I'm like, fuck, dude. So how much is that going to cost? And he told me, and I'm like, that's just wild. First of all, I'm like, good for you for being able to have that much money to spend on a bike.
No.
You know what I mean? If you have the money, go ahead and do it by all means, you know, but you have so much motor work done to where and it was one of those new aluminum swing arms that look fucking super sick, you know, but
Yeah.
it was just too much torque on her and fucking bent it all out, you know. But $140,000, I mean, that's probably nothing. I know a couple of people that have some performance baggers that, you know, basically do like the circuit of shows, you know, and I've never in my life like physically like seen such a beautiful fucking motorcycle ever. It's almost like, what's really neat though too is seeing these guys ride them. You know, it's not trailered. Like they're still riding to events and like riding to Sturgis and destinations, you know what I mean? And then putting their bike in for show. Like that shit is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the old time shows is like they'll trailer their bike in, you know, and, you know, bring it to, I mean, it's like San Diego Customs. Every single bike that they build, like they can ride them anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a statement.
Yeah. I haven't been to many shows. Like when it comes to like trailering stuff, like I've seen it before, and like there's obviously a ton of jokes about it.
Yeah.
But I've never really lived that. Like to, I don't know, really have an opinion on it. But I agree that it's way better when people roll in on them.
Yeah.
Like I've heard stories of bikes and shows that don't have pistons and don't have anything and no internals or whatever.
Right,
like what are we doing?
Yeah. It's just, it's a
Nerds.
show bike.
Yeah. You know,
Go ahead and put back on the trailer there, Haas.
Yeah, I'm not into that. That's unfortunate.
What shows do you like to go to? I mean, do you like going, have you go to Born Free?
Yeah.
That's right up your alley.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a fun show. It's like right in our backyard. It's like, how could you not go? Like, I've gone maybe 6, 7 different times. Like, I think the first one I went to was like 5 or 6 maybe. But it's always fun.
Well, last year was my first time going.
Oh, yeah?
And it was fucking hot.
Yeah.
Dude, you're like in that valley and it was no wind at all. I see multiple people have like heat stroke and just passing out because they just drinking beer all day. You know what I mean? They're just flopping out like a fish because it's so fucking, dude, it was gnarly, dude. It was like straight fucking hell.
Yeah. No,
It was crazy.
It's fucked. Yeah, I think
Did you go last year?
Yeah.
Man, there's so
It wasn't
many
as bad
fucking
last year.
bikes, dude. There was so many bikes. Like man, my attention deficit was just like, what the fuck? I was all over the place. It was really cool, man. When I broke away from the booth and was able to walk around and check shit out, like, what an amazing accomplishment. You know, like, dude, that's a huge accomplishment. Seriously, for that big of a show and like that, have that many people come, like wild to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy that they've done it so successfully, I would say,
Yeah.
that they like did the Texas version now.
Yeah.
I haven't been to that one, but
Yeah, I
that's
was supposed
cool
to go. Yeah, I was supposed to go this last year. I know some people that went out there, and it's definitely not like Born Free here by any means, but you know the relationships that you build from people, it's more or less like an industry like party in a way. That's what I've been told. You know, for us, like we go to sell merch. You know, I mean, you know that's my livelihood in a sense. You know, but I think it would be kind of cool to do a show like that where you bring this show out there and like have conversations with people. This is what I did for Sturgis, and it was so rad. Like we were up in like this big ass dome, you know, that the Thunderdome had, which is super sick, dude. The Thunderdome was so rad. That was my first time going. Have you ever been to Sturgis?
No.
Bro, that's right up your alley too, dude.
Yeah, it's the bucket list. I always, you know, Sturgis is always in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, one of these days. And then I had kids, and I'm like, fuck, man, I think I missed it. I don't know. One of these days, I'll definitely rip out there.
You know, is your wife like into the motorcycle scene or?
Yeah, she used to ride with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she.
So she would go. That's what I'm saying. If you made a trip out of it, you can go.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to ride two up across the country though.
Don't. Just trailer your bike.
No, fuck that, dude. You got to ride. Yeah. If I'm going, I'm riding. But I would just have to have a dialed bike.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude. Honestly,
I ain't riding my sporty chop.
This is how old I am, and like very like pussy-ish, because I'm like, man, if I'm riding Sturgis, I got to be done before dusk, because those goddamn wild animals are everywhere, dude. And I know tons of friends that they're just like blasting all the way through.
Oh man.
And they've never had an issue, but you know, I said this a while ago, man. Like 2 of my homeboys that I know, 2 years in a row got hit by a deer. How the fuck does that happen? 2 years in a row. The first time was okay, hit the fucking more of the bike, he slid out. The second time the deer came and hit him right on his leg and just broke his leg like a fucking toothpick.
God damn. That makes me change my mind. I don't really think much.
You just gotta be smart about it.
I'm not, I guess.
It's fucked up because now, man, like when I get on the motorcycle, because of having kids, like my mind is like a whole different, like honestly, there's some days where it's really fucked up where I'm like, do I still want to ride a motorcycle?
Oh.
And then I get on, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I do, you know?
Yeah.
But like I'm all up in my head, and I know like from like riding, you can't be in your head when you're riding a motorcycle, you know? And it's always before. The moment I get on and I slide that leg over and start the bike, like there's like I know where I'm supposed to be, you know, but there's always that like, fuck, am I gonna die?
Yeah, no, the world's
fucked. It's only happened since I've had kids, dude.
Yeah. No, it's funny. My chopper doesn't have a front brake on it, but it just puts me in check super hard. Like I'm not ripping that thing around. Yeah. Like I'm just chilling. Like it doesn't have a speedometer. Like it doesn't have anything on it. So I'm just taking it super slow. But yeah, I've had kids, for 7 years now, and it definitely weighs on you.
Yeah.
Because I've done some stupid stuff on my bike and done dumb things.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I know.
Not worth it.
I catch myself too. And it's so hard too, because, you know, I'm a man and I have an ego, you know what I mean? And I want to go fast and I want to keep up and all this stuff. But dude, that's another thing. I'm like, I'm going to be okay if I just slow down a little bit. But anyways, Thunderdome, Sturgis, baddest fucking place, dude. Like, and I had never been. That was my first year going. So it was like a bucket list thing for me. And I never really could because I was never, ever available. Like I had a management position job to where I worked a lot of hours, you know, and I was only like a local brand guy, you know, like I was going to the dealerships and setting up my booth and, you know, that was pretty much it. So when I quit that job and did this full time, it freed up a lot of shit, you know, to where sponsors helped out with that. A lot of Tigers like pretty much got me out there. They got the destination. Like they had a big impact on that place. And, boy, oh boy, I will never forget that week. That was like just a monument thing in my life. Like going to Sturgis and like seeing the different culture, the diversity was fucking so crazy. Like the only thing that I was very upset about is like I didn't see anybody that had an elk or deer bike come up, you know what I mean? Or like the funny raccoon hats, you know what I'm saying? Like it's full of
some fucking characters.
Yeah, like it's full of like the wolf head, you know what I mean? Like the old time shit, you know what I mean? Like full on, their helmet is a wolf, Dweezy. Like a full on fucking wolf. Like, you know, I've seen pictures, I'm like, why can't these guys come to the Thunderdome? Like matching sets of wolves the guy and girl hat on their fucking chopper.
God damn.
You know what I mean? I'm like, damn it, dude.
I love people watching.
Oh,
Like Born Free, like it's
Oh,
there's
yeah.
characters,
dude.
fucking characters.
There was heat and intoxication is never a good thing.
Oh no.
But there's so many goddamn police there too. It's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah.
There's undercovers. I mean, it was pretty wild. There's cops everywhere. But and there was only a couple rowdy situations that I saw, you know. And it was all dude because the dude was hammered drunk.
Oh no.
So he was like trying to jump on somebody's bike. You know, that was sitting there for the show.
That's fucked.
Yeah, and they just got on this dude, man.
Not cool.
Yeah. And that's another thing about people, like the educational part of maybe this, it's probably every generation, but you've always had like dumb fucks, you know?
Oh yeah.
Just doing disrespectful things to like somebody else's bike. But the fact that another man thinks it's okay to sit on somebody's bike is beyond me.
Oh, I've had so many situations that I get worked up over, like, you know, my bike out in front of a bar and someone, you know, does something like touches it or something. It's like, hey, dude, just keep your hands off of it.
Right.
And they're like, oh, you know, people get all dumb. And I'm like, it sucks getting worked up over those kind of things.
Yeah.
Ruins your night.
I'm the type of person like to where if somebody leaves their headlights on, like I won't even do that. You know, because I don't want to be the guy that's going over there, even though it's like you're doing a good deed for the guy because he left his fucking lights on. But I don't want to be that person and like have them go, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
dude,
I'm cool, dude.
I remember I did that in front of the shop one time. Someone left their lights on, and for some reason, it was in the service department. I turned it off, and they're like, "Oh, now my bike won't." Some situation that he was
Right.
having and needed to stay on, and I fucked up, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm just doing my job," you know, being a kind fella.
Yeah, being a good biker.
The dude was pissed, and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
God
the
damn
one
it.
time that you did it too.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
Trying to be.
it's never a good deed, dude. Just, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what I've learned, especially lately. Just stay in your fucking lane and it ain't none of my business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Usually, I'll mention it if like someone's walking away. I'm like, "Do you know your lights are on?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just a heads up, homie,
Yeah.
because I ain't trying to deal with like a dead battery
Yeah,
situation.
I don't want to jump you.
Yeah.
So
for the most part.
how
Try
about
to
this?
Avoid it.
Yeah, how about this? Just you know, make sure that you're turning your fucking bike off. Yeah, but it's wild, dude. Like I've seen a bunch of people do that before, man, where I'm like, man, or having their old lady sit on the bike, like, bro, is that your bike? Like that's crazy behavior.
Yeah, people are nuts sometimes outside of bars.
Yeah. So do you go down to Parts and Labor? That's the next show that I'll be doing.
I've never been
Really?
there before.
Wow.
No.
And you say you're friends with Mike.
Yeah.
You hear that, Mike?
Hey, it's all about working here, dude.
Yeah.
I have, you know, I work Tuesday through Saturday. It's always been
Yeah.
a Saturday show, and I know that they're doing it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Both days, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Might make it down there. That's like same thing with Born Free. It's a dual day show.
Yeah.
I could never go on Saturdays because a Saturday is a busy day here.
Yeah.
Can't really take too many off. So, yeah, Sunday. So that's why I haven't been there. But I remember their scratch and dent sale that they used to do at their shop, which kind of turned into this Parts and Labor show on steroids or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I've gone to their scratch and dent sale a few times.
Yeah, I like being involved with shows and watching the growth, you know?
Yeah.
And Parts and Labor was relatively a big show. I mean, you went to the shop, right?
Yeah.
And I'd never been to the shop actually ever, but going to Parts and Labor, the first show was in a very somewhat small but big area, and now they have the fucking biggest showroom, you know, floor, and having people from all around the industry come, which, you know, Clockworks, Dixon, there's other brands that have been there throughout, you know. I can't even really think of like the big, well, obviously Speed Kings, but seeing how big it's gotten, you know, is pretty fucking cool too. And just to be a part of it, you know, like I've been there from the first year, which it's now gone. This is going to be the fourth year, I think, or third year. But anyways, it's a fantastic show. I think it's risky when you do 2-day shows. From my perspective, like the second day is never really as good as the first day, you know, this is just for like sales, you know, sales standpoint. But it allows people like yourself that work Saturdays to come through, you know. So I think it is cool. I hope that it's going to be, you know, just as good What's neat about that show though too, Whiskers. It's like the first year or the beginning of the year show, so it kind of like kicks off, what we do, because it's been rough, bro.
Yeah. When did you start your company?
2020, COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, COVID was great for us.
Oh, cool.
I
don't know much about LFG. I just remember seeing it randomly through Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was two other guys that we started the clothing brand during COVID, and like I said, COVID was fantastic. Everybody was locked down. So online shopping and, stuff was fantastic. I mean, people, we rode motorcycles, but we were not in the motorcycle community, and our brand really kicked off by people in recovery supporting us, so, I mean, I'm so grateful for the people in recovery because honestly, LFG would have never kicked off because you got to sell stuff in order to keep creating stuff, like we're not rich guys, we just can't keep doing it, and over time, like the podcast started and, this has accelerated so much. It's really cool to see like that people listen to this show in Australia, Indonesia, India, UK, Canada.
No shit.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. Like
that's impressive.
Yeah, like, and it's all, who knows? Because I don't think they follow the Instagram. It's like it's the analytics and the algorithm for podcasts. Like it's like if you ever listen to podcasts or on Spotify, it says like your next listen. I'm assuming that that's what that is. But seeing like different countries like listen to the show, I know like a few, and I've said this a couple times on the show, but it's good to say like India has a big recovery community because in their culture they can't drink. It's like against their religion, right? So they do drugs. So Narcotics Anonymous, that's the program that I go to, is huge out there because they can't. They drink, they get beheaded, you know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck their culture is,
Dang.
Yeah, so I mean, just started out with 3 guys. Now it's just me. I'm just running the show, and man, it's been a wild time. So we're coming up. This March will be 5 years of LFG, and fuck, it's been super cool, man. Just to meet the people, So we got into the motorcycle community. We started doing shows, and there's 1,000 different communities, and I'm sure that they're all loving and supportive. But man, motorcycle communities, this is like there's none other. It's like the type of people that will literally break down on the side of the road and help you.
Yeah, it's crazy when you are on the side of the road and people always stop. You good, man?
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm good.
Right.
I'm just an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, help's on its way. Don't worry, man.
Yeah. Those are not my spark plugs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, dude, listen. 10 years of being at the dealership, that says something too. Old Town Temecula, they gave me this beautiful room and they're doing some nice things here, man. And change is never good. I know that from experience too, like being, in retail, it's fucking a tough business, like it's always changing, but to be with a company for this long, that's a statement though too. Obviously you like what you're doing,
Yeah, I love motorcycles.
Yeah.
I work close. I live close. It's right here.
Right.
I don't want to be staring at some shit that I don't like.
Yeah.
Or dealing with people. Like, they're just, I've developed a lot of relationships with people. And, motorcycles are a giant part of my life. And my life wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for these fucking two-wheeled things.
Right. It's crazy how it brings people together, too.
Yeah. Like, salesmen here that I've known that have become homies, like parts guys, service guys, still homies with, like we're at my wedding, they're getting married, they met someone else through here, like all kinds of stories throughout my life that are a big part of my job, I guess, too. So
absolutely.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you build these relationships, but what a cool job to have to where you can actually have a conversation with somebody that you enjoy doing. You know what I mean? You like to talk about parts and whatever the fuck you're doing to your bike.
Yeah.
I would love to work here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love shooting the shit with people. Yeah, whether it's like parts, or it could be a dude doing shit to his bike that I could care less about, but he's passionate about it. Like you mentioned cultures, like with people at Sturgis. I love all the different people that come in and the different styles and what they're about, and companies that they're into and why they're into them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I have my opinions on certain companies, and some people have different opinions. I just love hearing about it, like why they're into it and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You ask the question, and that's why I love asking questions with people.
Oh yeah, when people are genuine, they're like, "Oh, this, like,
Yeah.
I really, dig this or whatever." I'm like, "Nice, dude."
And honestly, people in this community are super, super passionate.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's like cars, Like I know that there's some people that I know that are really, really passionate about cars, But honestly, like people with their motorcycles, it's almost like your bike, There's sentimental value there. You've had it for so long, it's like a piece of you, And that's the beauty behind motorcycle riding too. Like we're so attached to these machines. It's like, my thought process before getting on the bike, like, oh fuck, I'm gonna eat shit today. And you get on that bike and it's like gone. Like there's no better freedom. Like that's what I tell people. They're like, why do you like riding? I feel free. I literally feel free. Like, oh, it's dangerous. Yeah, of course it is. So is riding. So is fucking driving a car.
yeah. Walking down the street, you get, yeah,
Yeah. Look at the fucking homeless in San Diego, huh? Tell me.
yeah.
So fucking tell me. Yeah, it is funny though. This place is like so fresh and new. And when I lived up here, that was probably like 15, I don't know, something years ago. I moved up here in 2000, but there was like barely nothing,
So when you and Mike were fucking around back in the day, you guys were in this area, or
Yeah.
you guys okay.
Here, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, here. Yeah, Mike was one of the first people that I met. So I had a friend that I grew up with in Ramona, that's where I'm from. And we moved up here, and my buddy Sean, start meeting some people up here, and Mike and Jeff. You know Jeff? Mike's friend?
I don't think
I
so.
don't want to put his government name out there, but he's a solid character too. So, but yeah, man, now I have like so many childhood friends that live up here too. My buddy Sean, he listens to the show. What's up, Navarez? And it's just cool. Like most transplants from San Diego are all here, like they can't fucking afford to buy a house in San Diego. So they came up here because it's cheaper. It's nicer. What the fuck? Come on. You can't beat Temecula.
Yeah, I don't have many complaints over
Yeah,
anything. here.
you stuck and stayed, my friend.
Yeah, not to say there's not great places elsewhere, but I don't know. It's pretty good here.
Well, it's home,
Yeah.
That's what happens. You find a home. So what's next for you? Like, what would you like to do this coming up year when it comes to events, or do you have anything that anything special?
More events. That'd be a good Makana question. Like, there's definitely a schedule that's coming out that, we have planned bike nights for these months and planned this for this, and they're definitely coming up. I'm not sure exactly what's coming up, but there's definitely planned things.
Do you have any new merch that you're going to bring in here?
Yeah, actually, Biltwell. A bunch of Biltwell stuff is coming in. So we've been teaming up with them. We got some custom painted helmets that are going to be coming out soon that we're going to raffle off. So that'll be cool. And then, we brought in some of their lane splitters, some of their Gringo SVs, shields, hardware, and luggage. Like, we got to get them out of their stuff. So they've never had a good, or I don't know, the relationship between the dealership and them has never been established for some reason. Yeah. So when I moved into this position, it was like, well, I'm homies with those guys. Like, we should be, teamed up. Why not?
Right.
So, yeah. I've been linking up with those guys, and we just got a bunch of their stuff earlier this week, so there's still some trickling in.
That's good.
Yeah, they'll be here for that event this Saturday.
Good for them too.
Yeah,
it's good. That's a local great business, so everybody knows Biltwell and what they're all about. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you coming on. Like, I wanted to kind of showcase somebody that works here at the dealership. You guys have been really nice to me and welcome me here, and so having Whiskers, and plus my friend Mike said, yeah, have Whiskers on.
Oh, that fucker.
Yeah, you got your ass. Yeah, well, listen, man, I appreciate it. We're just doing a quick little banger here, but yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Now you know a little bit more about LFG.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
All right, dude. Later.
Later.